What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. As always, I am Camtastic, and this is In Response, where every other week, three, sometimes four, sometimes zero friends gather around their desks to update you on the goings on in the CDH world and our personal journeys throughout the format. Joining me this week are my co-hosts, Nico, aka Mexadelight. How you doing this week, Nico?
Doing very well. Excited for my vacation starting tomorrow. Going to go visit my sister and brother-in-law in Madison and be Uncle Nico for the first time. So
Oh,
that'll be a good time.
Nice.
you should have grown out a mustache for it.
Yeah, maybe next time.
That's Uncle Rico.
Nice, nice. And joining me this week is our other co-host, Julian, the Magician MTG. How you doing this week, Julian?
Doing great. Just got back from my little vacation. Celebrated 6 years dating my wife, and we went to Universal Studios. And I didn't mention this in our little group chat, but I got two people to scan our QR code.
Oh, look at him
Nice.
putting in work even on vacation. Well, congratulations to you and Mrs. Magician. That's awesome to hear.
I'm definitely going to try and plug this in Madison at a local store there.
Nice.
Nice.
Hand out some of our QR codes.
I was really hoping that the ones that we ordered were in by now, but they haven't been, and I blame China. But also remember, everybody, you can always tune in live on YouTube or Twitch every other Thursday at 6 p.m. And if you happen to miss out on the live show, don't sweat it. You can watch later on YouTube or give us a listen wherever you follow your podcasts. But now it is time for the show. All right, guys. So this week we are talking about what I like to call the power rankings, but that's because that's what we call them in sports ball terms. They put out weekly power rankings, a bunch weekly about who's doing the best, and it's progressively changing throughout the season of sports. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing here. Is once a month we'll put out what our power rankings are based on not necessarily just the statistics or what EDH Top 16 has, but based on what we see in sports ball, what we call the eye test, where the statistics don't tell the entire thing, but what we see in our local meta, what we're seeing as far as tournament increases, deck number increases, because percentages don't always tell the whole story. So yeah, so this week we're going to be going through our five and maybe slip in an honorable mention here and there, but we're each going to riddle off our top five. Anything you guys wanted to add before we get going?
No, you covered it, man.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Sweet. All right, so I guess we agreed I would kick things off this week. So we'll go with my number five, actually. And I may be a little bit biased on this one, but I'm saying it's Kefka, which I actually had 5 and 4 a little switched up, but I didn't think, like, I felt the deck was really good. I didn't realize it was being played as much as it is. And when I filtered
Yeah.
through CDH Top 16, CDH Top 16, it was like every filter, it was top five. So at that point, I was like, I can't really ignore talking about it because it's there. And it's putting up numbers. A lot of people like it. I think a lot of the Final Fantasy commanders people might be forcing because they really love Final
They're so
Fantasy
good.
and their new
Yep.
commanders. But I think Kefka's a legit one. I was listening to a comedian today talk about it, and he was saying that it brings something to the meta that we didn't have before, which is Grixis mid range. Grixis was really always pushing turbo, but now that we have a draw engine in the command zone, we're able to push the mid range a little bit more. And I say we because it's the deck I've been playing and I freaking love it. So I'll throw some stats out there before I pass off the mic. Kefka right now, just in this last month, is on 81 entries, which is 0.56% of the meta. Very, very low meta percentage, but only being around a couple months, 81 entries in 1 month is good numbers. And it's got a 20.98 conversion rate, which anywhere hovering around 25% is generally good. So 20%, I feel solid. I feel like it's really solid rate.
So Cam, I'm new to looking at the stats like that. What's the conversion rate mean? Educate me on this.
So that is the rate of top 16 conversions in comparison to the number of entries into the tournaments.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it tells a little bit more of the story than just how many people entered, but like how well the decks are actually performing based on the criteria of a top 16 cut. What are your guys' thoughts on the deck? Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So I was definitely surprised myself to I did a couple different like statistic entries here, and I definitely saw it in a position 4, and then it was more in a couple like 6s and 7s, not necessarily top 5 with the filters that I did. But I was surprised to see that. Like you said, a newer commander, Final Fantasy. I do agree with you that people are probably pushing the Final Fantasy commanders. I know everybody was super hot on VV right away, but actually I haven't seen a lot of Eevee. I think people realize pretty quick is a kill on sight, and if it's killed immediately, you can't really do anything. You essentially get time walked in reverse, right? But
Yep.
Kefka, that's powerful. Not only is it a draw engine, but you're forcing your opponents to discard, which is super powerful. I feel like these days there's not a lot of flex slots in decks, so having to discard a card every turn round, especially if you don't have a draw engine of your own, is very detrimental. So especially when you're doing turn 1 Kefkas, isn't that right, Camtastic?
Whoa, what?
Or in a pod with 2 Kefkas where both of them get a turn 1 Kefka, that's pretty freaking brutal. That
That's
happened
rough.
to me. Yeah, that happened to me the other night playing against Cam in our F&M event. So yeah, Kefka's fun. Draw engine. If you flip them, draw even more potentially. But I think that's a good pick for sure.
Yeah,
Magician, what do you
definitely.
think?
Having a Grixis mid-range list. I mean, the only one that we had prior to this, Malcolm Vile, and then before that, I mean, if you go really far back, you had Kess, but both of those don't have draw in their command zone. So
I don't remember the
Kefka really,
last time. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I was just thinking, I don't remember the last time I saw Kess. Like Malcolm Vile, sure, but Kess, don't see
Yeah.
that around at all.
And Malcolm Vile
yeah,
is
I mean,
definitely
because
turbo
yeah,
based.
because Turbo Grixis took over the spot, and that was where we got
Exactly.
Broadside from. After that, it was the only mid range was, like I said, Malcolm Vile, and no card advantage. So
Mhm.
Kefka's strong,
Yeah.
and Kefka's got a big butt and can attack, and it's got both the ETB and attack trigger. So
Not as big as a Traxa.
Nope. But yeah, going from Malcolm Vile over to Kefka for that exact reason was like you can make tons and tons of mana, but what you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
why don't we
Cool.
ship it over to Nico? What do you got in your slot for 5?
So I did like 3 different sets of filters, 20 plus entries, 100 plus players, 60 plus entries, 32 plus players, and then back down to 20 plus entries at 32 plus players, because I just kind of wanted to see a little bit of variation on size of a tournament as well as number of players. But in the slot 5 came up with Timna Thrasios, which not really surprised. Those
Mhm.
TNT, TNK partners are pretty well known out there. So Timna Thrasios, I mean, you got everything but red. Again, that's common for me. I've been playing Atraxa for a while, although I did recently switch up. I'll come back to that here in a little while. But yeah, 4 color sans red. You got your draw engines, Thrasios in the command zone to go infinite. You got Timna for that kind of mid-rangey grind type stuff. Not too surprised to see that one there, and I don't think many people would be either.
Agreed.
Yeah, my limited time on TNT was, I mean, you're making infinite mana, you're dumping into Thrasios, and Timna was almost really only there for colors. Most of the time, it was mostly just a Simic plus black white, because it just gave you a couple more ways to make infinite mana, and then it gave you silence effects and black tutors. Um, so it's a strong deck. It's deserving of being in anyone's top 5 right now. So I agree.
Yep.
Didn't
Solid
make
deck.
mine. It didn't make mine, but I do agree that it does belong in there in some cases.
If we were doing a top 10, I'm sure we'd all pick, 8 or 9 of the same top 10 decks at this point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So
All
Magician,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So something kind of relatively new, also to the meta is Turbo Storm. And so I picked Ral Monsoon Mage.
Oh, I thought you were going to say X-Men Storm.
Got Larry all excited for a second.
Right.
No, Ral Monsoon Mage. It's got 84 entries. It's almost a 30% conversion rate, which is very high. It's got one top finish. It's got quite a few second place finishes. But all in all, it's just Turbo Storm. It's super defined. It's red blue. You're just looking for your outlets and your ways to make mana. So your Storm Killing Artists, your Burgies, things like that, and then dumping it into some sort of breach line or something like that to brain freeze people out or grape shot them. So
Yeah.
some of the meta,
Yeah.
something the meta has been missing.
We actually have in our local meta now somebody playing Ral as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that fits in.
Yeah.
Yeah, our meta has been shifting in our local, and thus I just swapped up a couple spots in my new deck with later, and to reflect on our new meta.
Meta
Yeah.
busting.
Yeah, with his fringe deck. Um,
He's playing Blue
Yeah.
Farm for everybody who's wondering now. Huh?
spoiler alert.
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna jump on whatever you're playing now, since you wanted to keep yours all secret, but I won't.
I mean, I guess we'll go to my number 4. That's not a secret really, and it's not a secret to us, but Atali's my number 4.
Okay.
That's my number 4 as well.
Nice.
So
Yeah, at first I had Kefka 4 and Atali 5, and then I looked at the conversion rate for Atali, and Atali's conversion rate is 22% on 168 entries, which is really good.
Oh yeah.
And it's a 1.16% of the meta share, which I feel like, and spoiler alert, the highest decks are like hovering around 8.25 and 6%. So 1% is quite a jump in representation of what Atali was. And I know like a lot of YouTube channels have been covering it, and it's just been showing up a lot more, but people really like Atali. We have 2 new Atali players in our meta, and we already had one. My brother even built Atali as well, so if you want to include him, even though he hasn't played it yet, I think there's a lot of appeal there. People, it's fun. Like you just have to count to 7, slam the dinosaur, and you get to play everybody else's cards. Like it's like, okay, what are we gonna get next? Like drum roll.
It's like the new Gyruda, but obviously not Demir, right?
Yeah, not all controlly and mean.
Right.
It's just like, I'm gonna do my thing on turn 2. Like,
yeah,
yeah, and it's
or
crazy consistent.
on turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1
or
too.
on turn 1, because if they can get that Jessica's Will, that's a turn 1. That's a turn 1 dino.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardest part about Atali is just figuring out what order you want to cast everybody else's stuff.
Yeah. And once you count to 7, that's pretty much it. You just got to organize the stack. But there's all kinds of new tech coming out with it, with like, any deck that gains popularity, it's cool because people are going to start cooking up new cards. Like Geosurge wasn't in list before. Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual are now being played. It's just going straight up dinosaur balls to the wall, like as fast as it can go.
Yeah. Turbo
I
Dino.
wonder what the power creep on the next Atali is going to be.
Whenever it ETBs or attacks.
Right. Yeah, because first one, right, was already kind of powerful when people were playing it, and now the second one is just like balls to the wall. So what are they going to do with the third Atali?
Right.
I don't know if they can, considering, I don't know, lore wise, it became a Phyrexian because of its backside, or she
Okay.
became a Phyrexian.
I'm not too up to speed on the lore, but yeah, that makes a little bit of sense.
So I'm not sure what they're gonna, if she can come back or not, but
We'll have to get Ginger Matt in here for an episode to talk about the lore for us.
Yeah. It'll be
but I
new
mean,
Galta.
they just came out.
is
They
what
just
it'll
came out
be.
with Jurassic Park Dominion. So I mean, what else? They can definitely do it here too.
They have the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Magician, I think you said you had Atali as your number 4 as well, right?
I did, yeah. So I think we can just skip past me. I pretty much agree with everything Cam was saying and kind of put my
All
2
right.
cents in there. So what do you got?
Well, in
For
my
4?
series of different filters here, I had Sisay as number 4 and or 5. So yeah, 5 color Sisay. which I don't think, Cam, now that you're not playing Sisay, I don't know if we have anybody else in our local meta on that one, do we?
We
We
don't.
do. We have one person.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Christian does play it sometimes, but he's been
Yeah,
on
Christian plays
Minstrel.
it.
He's been on Minstrel
Yeah.
lately.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, Sisay, again, not too surprised to see it. I don't know if I would have just on off the cuff picked it for top 5, certainly in the top 10. But 5-color good stuff. You got the Sisay, Derevi, Emil type of stuff. You've also got red, so you can be playing Breach on there. Having a lot of fun personally getting back on a deck with red, doing Breach shenanigans. So, definitely gets in there. You can play your Cradle, do a bunch of land stuff. But yeah, Sisay, pretty powerful. And I've seen some Staxy versions of it as well, which again, in our local meta, I don't think we've got stacks versions. We don't really have a lot of stacks around here either. Personally, I don't think playing with time limits really allows stacks decks a good chance to win. Like in my opinion, if you're playing stacks in a timed round, you're like playing for a draw, not necessarily for a win. But
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're playing stacks, you need a way. You need a way to be what is it? Asymmetrical.
or break parity quickly.
Or
Yeah, breaking
ABC.
parity from it.
ABC. Always be closing. You gotta have a way to close the
Yeah.
game, man. Gotta have a way to close the game.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you're just staxing to stacks, there's no way that you're gonna be able to do like a weekly 65-minute timer and still win. So
Yeah. I just to piggyback on you, Sisay is a great choice. I didn't have it in my top list. I should. Mind Sculptors put it at number 2 for this month. It's really been putting up a lot of results. I've seen people now going off the Planeswalker package, the Planeswalker combo, and going just straight Thoracle Decon and backing it up with just one Sisay line. Because really in Sisay, that's all you need is one activation and you win. So you don't need like
Yeah.
5 different Sisay lines. You just need 5 color good stuff lines and a Sisay line, which I think is good.
Man,
Yeah.
you got me thinking about our buddy Keith who plays Super Friends. He was doing the Golos Super Friends, which is really powerful before Golos got banned. I wonder if he pivoted that into Sisay, how that would play.
I bet you
Be
he'd like it.
interesting.
The commander's
Yeah,
easy to
probably would.
cast.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 mana commander with 1 color pip that you still need 5 colors to like do the thing, and as soon as he does the thing, then he's just going crazy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wes,
I'll pitch that to him. We'll see.
you should. Wes was considering building it because he's talking about moving off Rogsai. He doesn't really like it too much, and so he was talking about Sisay, and I think Sisay would be good.
I didn't know he was on Rogsai.
Yeah, he's been practicing with it.
I feel like Wes has 8 decks in secret. That
Yeah,
he
for
knows
real.
about.
He's doing that, and he's studying. He's reading up on all kinds of shit. Like Dahada, he's been constructing like with real cards now because that's like his deck. But he's like
Mhm.
fishing around for other stuff and like dipping his toes in the
Okay.
water. So
Nice.
Cool. Well, Cam, you want to kick us off on your third pick?
top 3, baby. Let's go. Okay, so my number 3 is Rogthras. What? Who would have guessed it? Yep, exactly. So Rogthras, how could you ignore it? It's got 450 entries in the last month, it's taking up 3.13% of the meta share with a 19% conversion rate. 450 entries. I mean, the most I had before this was 168 in Natali, so 450 entries is significant. It's a popular deck.
Very popular.
Anytime I see YouTube channels pop up, I see at least 1 or 2 Rogthrases in the pod.
Yep.
It's a fun deck to play. There's a lot of game actions that you take. People like it's fun. You get to play janky cards. You feel like you're playing standard sometimes. There's a lot of room for ingenuity in it. Like it's got a lot of good things going for it, and it wins. It's a deck that looks like it shouldn't win, but it does.
For real.
So
Yep.
that's my number 3.
Yeah. I just filtered it down to 1 month, and it's got 83 entries. So just for the month of August, it's got 83 entries and almost a 17% conversion rate,
Wow.
as
Nice.
opposed to the yearly, which was at that 450. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's doing really well. It goes really fast. It was on a considering board for myself. So I ended up pivoting to something else, but this was a consideration for myself.
Nice. Yeah, of the 3 different sets of filters I looked at, Rogthras was number 3 in 2 of them, and number 1 in the third. So, yep, right there with you. I recently played against a Krark Thrasios, which was interesting. I mean, the game that I played against that player, it definitely won. Um, but yeah, seeing Krark with Thrasios was a bit different, but still doing the same shenanigans, just getting double value. And that player was definitely kicking ass that round. So yeah, Rograk, hard to beat that one.
Believe it or not, I actually used to play Krark Thrasios too. Me and Ethan used to talk a lot together in the Discord and stuff like that. There's one player that's a judge L3 or something, and he's amazing with the deck. His primer's insane, but it's a fantastic deck, just like Krark Sai iteration on Rog Sai. It's
Sure.
It's yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a cool deck.
Sweet. Nico, what you got for 3?
Well, like I said, 2 of the 3 filters that I looked through had Rog Thrasios as number 3. So the other one was, and I'm sure you guys will have this on your list, or at least I'm assuming, is Kinnan. So that would be the other number 3 that I had. So definitely agree with that. I mean, no surprise there. I used to play Kinnan myself a while ago at this point, a couple years, and it was more of a turbo Kinnan, House of Mirrors, Twister Loop type of thing, not the mid-range grindy Kinnan big flips like you see these days. But I'm not surprised. Kinnan's powerful, especially in this mid-range hell meta that we're seeing a lot right now. I mean, Kinnan's a kill on sight. You let Kinnan out for a turn or 2, and all of a sudden you're facing all kinds of shit. And most commonly, there's a Seedborn Muse on there. Thrasios is also on the field. You see that Hullbreaker Horror or a Tidespout Tyrant or
Wandering Archaic.
exactly, Wandering Archaic, and
Winnower.
then Void Winnower. Then it's pretty brutal at that point. And I think in our local meta, we've got 1 core Kinnan player and then another 2 or 3 Kinnan players out there as well. In the All Valley tournament, we had 3 or 4 Kinnans in there, I believe, if I remember correctly. So
4 Kinnan players in the All Valley.
yeah,
And then another handful of lists that had Kinnan in them.
What's kind of crazy is so our meta is kind of the anomaly. Like big flips cannon is really not a thing outside of our valley. It's
really,
all Freedom Waffles list, which is they call it Ristic Cannon, and it's just draw engines and all the counter spells you can jam in there. And it's just using Kinnan as the infinite mana outlet to win the game.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I don't necessarily agree with the build, but it's putting up a lot of numbers. And that was actually the one that JJ brought to the All Valley.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting choice. And one thing I want to piggyback on that with Kinnan is it's a lot like Yuriko. It's a new player deck, so that always skews the numbers negatively because you have a lot of new players picking it up, going to tournaments and such, and that again negatively affects the numbers. But despite that, Kinnan is still Kinnan out there.
Oh yeah.
Fully agree with you on it's like a new player CDH deck. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to get into complex lines or anything like that. You just get the mana, you spin Kinnan, you get the value off of it. So I personally agree. And that coming from somebody who did it myself, right? My first CDH deck was Kinnan. I got bored with it after a while. I was like, all right, I need something a little bit more flavorful, more complex. Something that's a little more interactive as well. Surprisingly, at the time, that Kinnan build was not very interactive. Like, of course, I played the blue counter magic, but it's turbo, right? So you're just trying to, I don't really care what everybody else is doing. I'm just doing my own thing. So good entry deck for CDH. Somebody looking for more probably can move on to something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Magician, what was your number 3?
So my number 3, I put Kefka, skewing that towards our meta. Cam is on it, and we've got Thomas on it as well. In our Discord, he is roommate, and if you see him, you'd probably be able to play against him playing it. And it's also putting up a lot of good numbers. It's got, in the last month, it's got 50 entries, 14% conversion rate. We went with that, but it's just nice that Grixis finally has a mid-range list that they can go to now. You got turbo, you got mid range. All we're missing is a control deck, and maybe I'll play it.
Hey, there's Kefka control builds.
I mean, you could definitely, yeah. You might be pushing it a little bit compared to what you're used to, but yeah, that's control straight up your alley for sure.
Nice.
I did pick up my copy,
Ah, look at that.
Just in case.
So- just in case.
What? You're gonna play it in Blue Farm? Is that what I'm hearing? What?
Jesus.
Kefka
All right,
and
so
Blue Farm. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm gonna skip my number 2 because I just kind of talked about it in most of the filters. It was Kinnan. So you guys, what's your number 2?
Kinnan.
Hey, what you got, Cam? Kinnan?
Kinnan.
Kinnan.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 98 entries in the last month, 6.81% of the meta. That's a good portion of the meta share. The conversion rate is at 16.32%, and this is on events that are 60 plus players. So, like, these are the big boy events here. Kinnan's doing
Yeah.
Kinnan things, and I don't know. I mean, one thing I want to mention is I know 6.81 is a large percent of the meta, but man, things look really healthy right now in the format. I feel like things are really jumping around, and we can touch more on that, I guess, at the end when we finish up our number 1 deck. But yeah, I definitely would like to dive more into how we feel about the current meta.
For sure.
Okay. I put Rogthras as my number 2. I kind of did a little bit different take on my list. I didn't really actually look at all of the typical builds of everything, so that's why I don't have Kinnan. That's why I did choose Ral and I did choose Atali, because I kind of wanted to highlight some other decks that have just been doing really well, but that aren't necessarily in your de facto top 5 due to stats. But yeah, so in my second place, I did choose Rogthras. Again, also a little biased because that was a consideration for what I wanted to do. So I do like the deck a lot, and it lets me go fast without having to use scary cards.
What scary cards are you talking about?
Oh, and Adnaz. There's their scary cards.
You kind of cut out there. Actually, say
Oh,
those again.
Necro and Adnaz.
The
They're
card-
scary.
Card that shall not be named.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't like
Yeah.
paying a bunch of life, do you?
I just don't like being the easy target because
Once you're at low life, you mean?
no, just like okay, the first person to be able to go to combat is like, okay, who am I playing against? What are they playing? Oh, you're playing Adnaz, attack you.
Mm.
I like to be able to utilize my politicking skills because I feel like I've really upped the game on being able to learn how to politic over the last probably year or two. And I can't politic when I'm on Adnaz because I'm always going to be the one that they come after.
At least not for combat damage or direct damage. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to fly under the radar as best I can. So, but yeah.
I'm the opposite. I love scary cards, man. I
No.
love scary cards. Come at me.
Come
at me.
I had a great game the other day with Adnaz, a turn 3 Adnaz, and somebody else's not even end step. It was just with a Ristic on the stack actually, because everybody else was tapped out. But I'll come back to that because that's my runner-up deck I want to talk about.
Cool. So we're all good on our second pick.
Yeah.
Mhm. Should
All
we all
right.
say number 1 at the same time?
Yeah, right.
3, 2, 1.
Blue Farm.
Tim
Blue
Necrom.
Farm. Oh, Tim Necrom, huh?
Oh, what's that? Enlighten us.
Yes. So for those of you who are new to the CDH, because you guys did tune into our previous 2 episodes
Mm-hmm.
about learning about getting into CDH and then the differences between CDH and tournament CDH. Tim Necrom is also known as Blue Farm. That is the deck that I have chosen. Spoiled early in the show.
Welcome.
That is Timna and Crom. So you're blue, white, black, red. So you're sans green. And I am going with a more control-y build. So I'm running a little bit of light stacks as well as a plethora of counter magic and then some value creatures. And then I run breach lines. I've got 2 different gifts packages in mine. And I mean, going into the stats of TNK
You
right
mean
now,
you mean gifts ungiven? So gifts
correct? Yeah,
packages? Okay.
yeah, gift packages. In the month of August, it's got 159 entries. It's got 11% of the meta share and just over 17.5% of the conversion rate. It's got one, two, three. It's got four top finishes or four first place finishes, and a lot of other top four finishes. I mean, I could just keep scrolling, and there's a lot of thirds and firsts and seconds and all of that. So it does really well in tournaments. It's going to probably be in a room for tournaments. A lot of the meta share, similar to how Kennen is going to be. But why did you guys choose TNK?
Numbers.
Yeah, numbers don't lie in this situation. I mean, it's like number one, if not number two, in every filter I looked in. You know, just being in the competitive realm for 4 or 5 years now at this point, it's common. I mean, the partners have been around for a long time. It's established, a couple different versions of it as well. Yeah. And not to mention, I love Magician that you have now gone back to Tim Necrom. And when you and I first started playing against each other, you were originally on TNK. And all of our local meta now is like, what? You're playing Blue Farm? And I'm like, this is OG Julian right here. Like, what are you guys talking about? No surprise. No surprise here.
Yeah,
I think that's the most Magician deck that Magician's played in a while.
Definitely.
He was doing
also
some
wanna
soul
throw out-
searching.
Yeah, right. I also saw a video today. Actually, one of our friends and followers sent me a link with a video to another content creator, Casting Costs CDH, and the name of their video is Blue Farm actually the best deck in CDH? And I guess in some big tournament, the top 4 players, like the final 4, were all Blue Farm.
That
If
was
you
the
listen
Top
to
Deck
that.
Invitational,
Was it? Okay.
the biggest
Yeah,
tournament of the year as far as level of competition.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you got huge tournament with top 4 all on Blue Farm. I mean, there you go.
And that's what everybody was saying was this is the second year in the row that the Steel City Spectacular was actually more exciting than the Top Deck Invitational because they happen on the same weekend. Because the Top Deck Invitational is the most competitive as far as like that's what everybody's trying to get to every year, you know, the circuit. And so everybody brings Blue Farm because everybody's trying to win. Whereas the Steel City Spectacular was just the biggest event as far as players. Like it was huge. It was like, wasn't it like 750 players? I believe it
Oh,
was.
wow. No
And
idea.
it was literally
I'm trying to find it.
it was the biggest CDH event ever. Like not exaggerating, it literally was. And so people were very excited to see that. And I think it's Holly was the one that won that.
Oh,
but-
cool.
Yeah, but Blue Farm also got second and won a lot of the side events there. So yeah, I agree. It's a good deck. It's got the numbers. It's the best cards in the format and the best combos in the format, backed up by silence effects. And it can go fast. It can go slow. It can do what you want. It's again,
Yeah.
it's just the best of the best.
Yeah, not having
514.
okay.
Sorry. Yeah,
Still-
514 players.
Okay, my bad. That
Still
was
a lot of players.
a lot more than I said, or a lot less than what I said, but still.
I think that's cool. Let's take a second to recognize that a CDH tournament for a 30-year-old card game has over 500 players, right? That's massive. That just shows how big this game is getting in the world these days.
Well, and CDH itself, because
Exactly.
it's an unsupported, unofficial format by, it's not supported by Wizards of the Coast. It's not an official, well, I guess now it is official since they've adopted it and now that they're the ones running the ban list and such. But as far as tournaments, there are no official tournaments. They don't do it at MagicCon. It's just, they just acknowledge that CDH exists.
Mhm.
And we're kind of over here doing our own thing. And it's becoming this really big thing, and it's a success. It's super cool to see, like you mentioned. I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. It's
Even
definitely cool.
Go ahead, Magician. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, it's definitely cool to be able to see a format that was a fan format, basically, that was all for fun, and now it's got a competitive following, and it's grown into such a large thing that we're getting. I mean, in this case, like we're getting more players for this event than we are. I mean, a Pro Tour or an Invitational or anything that's a 60 card format right now. Like 60 card formats are probably topping out at like 200 something people, maybe 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was gonna throw in there too the last two Magic Cons, 2025 and 2024. Just walking around and just observing the crowds of people playing. You know, they've got all the tables set up for all the organized events, standard and whatever 60 card format stuff and drafts and everything. But there's just as many, if not more, people out there playing Commander at just the free play tables in the command zone as there are playing all these organized 60 card formats. I feel like they're going to have to start putting more tables out there just for the free play Commander than for the organized events.
I agree. There's a couple pictures that I took to like bring home and show people of like the showroom floor and all of that. And like there's so many color coded tables for 60 card formats and they are empty.
Empty. Yep.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Or
Agreed.
they're taken up by Commander players just until the event starts or something.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
true.
you see them all in there like in pods and all of that, and they're just taking up the spots until they get kicked out. So Commander has definitely become the showcase format for the game.
Don't tell Wizards that because they're going to make things crazy.
They already did. That's what, once they started printing straight to Commander sets,
Yeah.
that's how they ruined Modern. But so honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw mine out there. I got to go with my recent deck here. I less than a week ago put together Timna Dargo. I was definitely looking for something new outside of Atraxa. I knew I wanted to play red because I really like doing Underworld Breach shenanigans. Seen a couple people playing Obnix and Rakdos, the muscle. So I was looking at Rakdos, but it's hard for me personally to stick with two colors these days. So I was looking at what third color. I didn't want to play blue just for something else. Didn't want to have to be the one policing the table. So I ended up going with the white, the Mardu, and then Timna Dargo. So at this moment, I've got 7 games under my belt with Timna Dargo, 5 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, and I'm on a 3-win streak. So feeling pretty darn good about it. Lots of fun. Like I said, you're just making treasure, sacking things, getting beat down with Dargo. I actually eliminated a player the other day with Dargo commander damage and then won on the next turn. So pretty good stuff. And then, like I mentioned earlier in the episode here, I got a great Adnaz in one of these games playing against Camtastic. Actually, he cast a Ristic Study, and since he was tapped out and the other 2 players were tapped out, I went for an Adnaz. Drew a bunch of cards, lost like 25 to 30 life off of that. Not a big deal. Definitely was going to go for the win on my turn. It was hilarious. The player before me did a Wheel of Fortune to force me to discard everything, but wheeled me into an LED and Savine's Wreck. So I was perfectly fine after that.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we're all on Adnaz now, right?
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
I'll believe it when I see you do a real hardcore Adnaz.
But we're all on Adnaz, right?
Maybe.
So I'm just curious. In your Mox field, what is your Adnaz count right now?
Adnaz
What
count?
is your?
I'm
What
not
is
on
your?
Nas.
Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah. Cam's not on Adnaz and Kefka. He's not playing that version.
Yeah, Nas and Necro I took out.
what do you remember what it was?
My
I'm just curious.
Nas
Then.
is.
You're so afraid of Adnaz. It's hilarious.
I know. But well, I'll lead off with mine because I have mine ready. So my average mana value without Adnaz is 1.32.
Mine's 1.43.
1.54.
Okay. I was just curious about that. And for anyone who also is watching it, if you
You're cutting out
register
again, Magician.
Sorry. If you are on Moxfield and you have an Adnaz in your deck list, you scroll down past the statistics. There's going to be a blue box that says you're using ad nauseum. It'll give you what your actual Adnaz count is without ad nauseum in it. So it gives you your average of life you're taking per card that you flip over or per resolved Adnaz in a sense. And so Yeah, all of us are under the 2 mark, which is where you really want to be. Even
Yeah.
even more, you want to be under 1.5.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's up there because I run Peer into the Abyss and Boldus' Citadel, so that definitely swings it up to the over 1.5.
Yeah, I'm currently testing Knuckles, Mayhem Devil, and Deadpool, so those are all some thick boys.
Yeah. Cool. So I also had actually, I originally had Timna Dargo as mine, but I will pivot for my runner-up, and I'm gonna choose Lumra.
Okay.
Lumra has had in the last month 21 entries, just under 1.5% of the meta, and just barely over 9.5% conversion rate. So it's got two top fours. So it's doing well. It's a really hard to interact combo because you're mostly just using activated abilities and triggered abilities of lands or activated abilities of creatures to be able to loop through your combo. And so it makes it real hard to interact.
So I'm curious just to hear what you guys think. I was a little surprised to not see Wandering Minstrel on these lists higher up because we've got a couple of Wandering Minstrel players locally. And I don't know if anybody actually plays just Lumra, but I know Lumra is like if not the key card in Minstrel. So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I was surprised too.
I'm not. I just don't think Minstrel's there yet. I think a lot of people are trying to figure it out, and it's a good deck, but I think it is interactable, and I think that I don't know. I think that people just need to figure it out, like figure out how to beat it. Really,
Sure.
you just really, you just got to kill Minstrel. Then they're just playing a bunch of tap lands.
True. Yeah. I guess Minstrel's almost, if not, yeah, kill on site commander. So
Yeah, it doesn't feel like he is, but if you do, then the deck just doesn't do its thing.
yeah, so I'll come back to one thing I've been preaching a lot lately to people is the surprise factor, right? If nobody's ever seen Minstrel, they're like, what does this do? Who cares if your lands come in untapped? And then they're all of a sudden like, oh, I understand this is a problem. So then like the second, third, fourth time they play Minstrel, then yeah, it's like counter it, kill it, whatever. Whereas Lumra, you want it to die when it comes into play, right? You want to keep doing the Lumra thing. So
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, Lumira is almost like a kind of, in a way, like a version of an Atali, where you want to be cloning Lumira to get the ETB triggers to be able to fill your yard, and then it will be able to put the lands back into play, which then will make another copy of Lumira, which will then trigger the ETB again and all that. It's a big loop. So
I guess another reason I like the Minstrel is because it has so much text on it. Like it's got 3 different paragraphs, but only the top line matters. So again, like the surprise factor or the misdirection factor, people are concerned about the other abilities. And like you as the pilot, the player, you're like, you don't care. You're just going to let them worry about that activation or what that giant paragraph says. And really, you're just like, haha, suckers. All I need is that top line, right?
yep.
I mean, to be fair, if anybody reads Wandering Minstrel and thinks that the second line has anything to do with the deck, they kind of deserve to get beat down by the Wandering Minstrel. If they think somebody's
Fair.
playing Towns and CDH, then they have a gross misunderstanding of the meta.
For sure. I guess I'm also kind of thinking Kefka, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
I
like-
get what you're saying. You're right. Like surprise factors, it's a big deal.
mhm.
What do you guys your runner up, Cam?
Oh, we don't got to talk about it. It's okay. No, I had Tim Dargo as my runner up as well.
3 of us, huh?
Mardew's been rising in the standings. Obviously we're biased because we've been getting slapped around a little bit by the deck, but I think Mardew's strong. Again, biased because we now have a competent Dihada player. Not that we had an incompetent one, but we have a good Dihada player in our pods now. So White is strong. White's got silence effects. Black has tutors, red has breach. What more do you want? And
And white has the most important or easiest removal spells, path and swords, right? Like
Yeah.
just exile something as long as you can target it.
Yep. There's a lot of good mana generators in Tithe and Lotho. I mean, we can just go on
Esper.
and on. Yeah, Esper, we can go on and on and on. I can name cards all day, but that's just going to make Nico's editing a lot more difficult. So I won't do that. But yeah, I think Bardoo's good. I think people are like feel obligated to play blue, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think Lumra and Dargo Timna, Dahada, like we named earlier. There's a lot of reasons. Like I keep hearing a lot of like you need a really good reason to not play blue, which is true, but there's options out there. Just because you need a good reason, you named Rakdos the Muscle, you named Omnixilus. Like there's a lot of Sans blue options out there, and I think this is one of the best ones right now. I think it's got everything you want. It's got card advantage. It's got silence effects. It's got tutors. It's got interaction in the form of onboard interaction, and you got SWAT.
Yeah.
Yep, and
That's good
Pyroblast
stuff.
and Red Blast. So you've got ways to interact on the stack with blue stuff too.
It's true.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So, all right. Well, I think
That's
that
everything
wraps
on
up.
my list. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. I feel
Yeah.
like we're like losers now because we're all playing decks that are in the top 5
I do
or top
enjoy
6,
at
I
times.
guess. Top 6.
I do enjoy doing non-meta things, but at times, like right now, it is nice to be playing the top meta stuff as well.
Well,
So,
I usually am the same way, but I didn't realize Kefka was top meta until we did the podcast today. It didn't feel top meta.
yeah.
So I think you're still a little bit off meta, but I think it's definitely on the climb. Like
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the Mardu deck right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the hot is not even anywhere near. Can't touch the numbers. So
And
Yeah.
another honorable mentions Rocco, as when we were talking about Sans Blue, Rocco's been putting up really good numbers lately too. So
Okay.
the Naya X or
Yeah.
okay, the tutor one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Interesting. Well,
Cool.
we'll see what happens in our next local tournament here in a couple weeks. It's like a 48 player tournament. I think there's just around 20 seats left last I checked. So
Yeah,
we'll definitely have to take a look at what everybody's playing.
we got 2 weeks. Yeah, we're gonna have some good tournament reports for you guys, and we'll have some good meta calls and stuff like that. It's exciting stuff to have another tournament here in the Valley.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's gonna wrap us up for this week, guys. Right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'll do it. As
Cool.
always, thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad I got to join you. So that is the show. Thanks everybody who joined us here tonight. Make sure that you guys tune in every other Thursday here at twitch.tv/Camtastic for the live show. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at our YouTube channel and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We do appreciate all the support. Thank you all so much. And until next time, stay magical.